Hello everybody, welcome back. Okay, I'm at Grafton Campground in Grafton, North Dakota, and it is now October 14th, 2017, and today was my last day, that's day 15, of working the beet harvest for American Crystal Sugar Company. This is a work camping opportunity. It's seasonal. It usually starts around the 1st of October, but this year it started on September 30th. There are a few different sites. They occur in the Red River Valley, which is kind of on the western, northwestern corner of Minnesota and the eastern corner of South Dakota. And then there's another site which is in Montana, but I've decided to do the more eastern side because it was closer to Wisconsin, where I was visiting family this summer. Okay, a quick rundown of what this work camping opportunity is. It is a quick way to make pretty good money in a relatively short period of time. It's even better pay per hour than you get like working Amazon. I'm not sure how it compares to gate guarding down in Texas because I haven't done that yet, but this is pretty good money to be made in a pretty short period of time, but it is very hard work. We worked 15 days in a row. That's 12-hour days, no rest days. You make $13.25 an hour. But you get time and a half for everything over 8 hours in one day. So I worked the day shift, which is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. From 8 to 4 p.m. we would make $13.25 an hour. The last 4 hours of every single day we'd make time and a half, which came to close to $20. It was like $19.87 or something like that. Saturday, all day, time and a half. So it was almost $20 all 12 hours on Saturdays. And Sunday, at least at this site, is double time. So we actually made like $26 and something, like $26.50 per hour. So yeah, that adds up really quickly. Let's see what the work entails. It is physical work. You are going to stand on your feet. Mostly it's outdoor work. So you're going to be on your feet, outdoor, standing on concrete for 12 hours. And there are a couple different jobs that you could work. Most people end up being what's called a sample taker / helper. That's what I did this year. And what that job entails is you are standing next to a gigantic beet piling machine on a concrete slab, and the trucks are coming in from the farmers' fields, and they are dropping their beets off at this machine, and this machine takes the beets, puts them on a conveyor, and spits them back out the back end of the machine onto a gigantic beet pile. And as the season wears on, the machine moves down the concrete slab, so you pile up your beets, and the beets get farther and farther in, and the whole machine just slowly backs up, and you pile up beets for 12 hours a day. The sample taker / helper, you're going to be guiding the semis in to dump their beets off at the front of the machine, and then you will be directing them back towards the other end of the machine to pick up their dirt, because the machine separates the beets from the dirt. The farmers get the dirt back, and the trucks haul that back off, and we keep the beets. 40% of every load that comes in from every farmer gets chosen to have a sample taken of their beets. And what that is these are sugar beets. They're not table beets. They're actually white beets called sugar beets. And these beets are refined down into sugar. Like that's what happens to them. They're turned into table sugar. So how much the farmer gets paid per load depends on the sugar content of their beets. So you take the samples, and it's just a big old black canvas bag, and you'll get a little ticket from the farmer that says this needs a sample, and you'll take the tag back and you'll stick it inside the bag, and you'll hold the bag up to this nozzle on the machine. You press a button and it grabs a random sample out of the beets that are streaming past and going up onto the pile and dumps them into your bag, and you've got a sample bag. And yeah, you do that for 12 hours. It gets pretty boring. And besides that, you also are going to be doing some shoveling with this job. The trucks bring in a lot of dirt, and it gets everywhere. So it's a very dirty job. Like, any clothes that you wear are going to get absolutely filthy. And on my first day, I came in and the machine was there, and we started piling the beets. And at the end of that first 12-hour shift, it really wasn't that bad. I was thinking, oh, this, okay, I got a little dirty, but maybe these people that complain about getting dirty, maybe they just don't like dirt, or maybe they're, not trying to keep themselves clean, and they're, doing stuff that's getting them extra dirty instead of being careful. But And the machine, like, you clean it out to keep it running, but it doesn't really get cleaned again until the end of the season. So every day, the site gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. So by the end of the season, by today, by day 15, yeah, that was pretty dirty. Working conditions. So you can probably guess, this being North Dakota in October, that it's going to be getting kind of cold. So day shift actually has a benefit, working the day shift at this point, because it's not as cold during the day as it is at night. We usually saw daytime temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and actually the site had to get shut down if the daytime temperatures got close to 70 degrees, because then the beets would get too warm and they could start to rot, so they would just shut the whole site down. That only happened one day for us. It was on day 8, and we closed at 4:30 p.m. So day shift, I only worked 8.5 hours that day, but every other day I worked 12 hours because that was the only weather day we had. Likewise, if it gets below freezing, they might have to shut the site down. But I mean, it has to get pretty cold because it's not the air temperature that matters so much, it's the temperature of the beets. So if the beets get frozen, like more than a half inch in from the top of the beet, they shut the site down. That didn't happen this season at all. We never got shut down due to it being too cold, but we did have several nights where it got down like 27, 28 degrees that night. That's really cold to work outside for 12 hours in that kind of temperature. So I am very glad that I worked the day shift. And yeah, I'm really not sure that I could do the night shift, because even on the day shift, I got really cold sometimes. Another good thing to point out, you notice that I am wearing like a baggy sweatshirt and my hair is wet and my nails are filthy and my face is really sunburned. And I could have waited a day or two to film this and, dress up all pretty and, maybe like style my hair and make it look nice and clean up some things on the table to make it, look better, make it a better video, because those kind of videos do get more views. But I wanted to show you guys what it's really like, because when you're working the beet harvest, this is what it's really like. Like, you're not going to have time to keep up on laundry or keep your trailer clean or anything like that. Like, this is what's going to happen. Like, I'm just keeping it real here. When you're working this many hours a day, there's like no time to do anything else, really. Like, I went to work and I came home and I showered and I ate and I went to bed, and that's pretty much all I had time for 2 whole weeks. So the trailer is a total mess right now, and I cleaned off this little tiny corner where you're viewing so that you guys have a halfway decent view, but the rest of the trailer, yeah, it's pretty bad looking. But the one thing it does have going for it, it is good money. My first paycheck came in on Friday, yeah, yesterday, the 13th, for my first week of work, and I made $1,384 in some odd cents, and my second paycheck will probably be pretty similar to that. And for 14 days of work, well, 7 days of work for that paycheck, that's pretty good money, you know what I mean? So, is it worth it? Well, that depends. You definitely do need to be relatively, like, physically in shape to be able to go those long hours on your feet. There's no break room or anything on site. There's porta potties, and you can go inside the scale house for breaks, but there's no real place to relax inside. Most people take their breaks inside their vehicles. Let me think. Other perks. My campground here at Grafton, I do get this for free, so I don't have to pay anything for my campsite at all, which is nice. The company provides the safety equipment that you need for the job, most of it anyway, so you get like a hard hat and the safety glasses and the reflective vest and all that provided. You will need to have your own boots, and you do want a good pair of boots for doing this. You're going to want something probably that's waterproof, because we do work in the rain, unless it gets so wet that the farmers can't get the trucks out into the fields because they get bogged down and the trucks can't run. But like a light rain, totally, the site is still open, so you'll want good, warm, waterproof, preferably footwear with tread, because it gets really slippery out there with all the dirt and mud and stuff coming in from the trucks. You will want warm clothes, like thermal layers, yes. You'll want like a real winter jacket, yes. You'll probably want something like a hat. You'll want good gloves, just keep yourself warm, because it gets pretty miserable if you get cold. Trust me, I had a couple days where I got cold. wasn't fun. Let's see, I'm trying to think anything else. Yeah, it's really not a very fun job. I had one coworker who actually was like, yeah, I want to come back and do this next year. But the rest of us are pretty much like, probably not. Especially because if you work on days 1 year, you come back to the next site, you're expected to work nights, like you flip-flop back and forth. Keeps it fair for the people who work the night shift, which, you know, makes sense. But still, I'm pretty sure that I could not last through night shift here. I'm pretty sure it just wouldn't work for me. But you know, hey, for some people it might, and the money's good, so I don't regret doing it, even though I don't think I'll do it again. And yeah, that's Becky signing off. In the link down below, the description for this video, I'm going to link to the more in-depth blog post article that I'm writing on Interstellar Orchard about this opportunity if you would like to learn more. And before I go, I will show you a quick view of my campsite here in Grafton. Sadly, the angle that I'm at right now, it's not very pretty. It's kind of out the back window that has a good view of the park. But let's show you that quick. Ta-da! Yeah, it's just my neighbor's RV, so nothing too exciting out this window, but I will show you out the back window as well. And after this, I should be doing more traveling, so there will be better views coming up, I promise. And I think that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Safe travels and happy trails.